Hi everyone, wanted to quickly do a live video on miscarriages. Um, it's something that unfortunately is more common than we'd like it to be. I think the statistics are that one out of every four pregnancies that happen end up in miscarriage. So what does that mean? The miscarriage could be as early as, finding out that you're pregnant and then something goes wrong and it doesn't happen. Or it could be where you unfortunately are carrying the baby to full term and you end up the baby doesn't survive for one reason or another, and you have to end up, miscarrying the baby. You end up still sometimes giving birth to this baby, but it's not alive. And that's a loss, whether it happens within the first doctor's visit or whether it happens, when you carrying the baby full term. Of course, it's hard either way. There's no easy way of dealing this. It's the death of this potential of. I'm talking. Go away. My son comes with the video to show me that I'm live, like a genius that he is. I apologize for that. So let me just get my thoughts together. So the losing a baby, losing the child, is losing the potential of the hopes and dreams of what you want it to be, right? When you find out you're pregnant, when you're trying to have a baby, there are all these incredible hopes and dreams that we start to flourish within us. And unfortunately, when we lose the baby for whatever the reasons are, it's devastating. It is absolutely devastating, and it doesn't matter if you've had other babies and you have other children. It's still a huge loss, and I think not only does the mother, the wife, the woman go through the loss. I think the loss is equal for the man as well. The husband, the father to be, goes through this loss as well. I don't think they process and they show it in exactly the same way, because a lot of times they are pushed into this role of being, the strong provider. But I think it's important to recognize that it's a loss for everyone involved. How do you deal with that, right? So I think you need to, first of all, hopefully you have support. Hopefully you can talk about it. Hopefully you have a spiritual religious practice where you're able to turn to. But counseling is very, very, very important. I was talking to someone, a couple of people. It seems to be that when I do a video, it's usually because it's a theme that's coming up, and I feel like, okay, enough of this is going on, that I think I need to address it in some form. And why do I need to address it? I'm no one. But if the little that I have to share helps anyone, then so be it. And this is it's not something that it's something that I've read in a book. My first pregnancy ended up in a miscarriage. It literally was the first pregnancy after the marriage, and went to the doctor really excited, and there was no heartbeat. And immediately within 2 days, the next day we went back after drinking a lot of water, thinking maybe I was dehydrated or whatever. But either way, there was no heartbeat, and a DNC was scheduled, and it was very depressive. It was devastating because, again, we didn't expect, to have to go through that. Now, I cannot imagine, someone going through this after actually carrying a baby. And I've been talking to several women who've unfortunately had to go through that loss, or some just, are not able to conceive for one reason or another. It is heartbreaking. But I think it's important that we turn to our faith, but it's important that we turn to counseling. Please, seek help. Give yourself permission to grieve. There's stages of grief. I'm sorry, the landscaper guys are right outside the door and they're being really loud right now, and there's nothing I can do about it. So I apologize for that. But I think, there's the stages of grief are, there's denial, there's anger, there's depression, there's plea bargaining, there's acceptance, right? So I think, read up on it. Maybe at some point I'll do another talk about, when it's a little more quieter, about the different stages of grief. But I think It's important that we, recognize that it is a death that you're experiencing. So just like you would lose a family member that you actually were living with, a miscarriage is is the loss, is the death of the potential, and not to mention the actual physical child. So all I can humbly request is that you turn and get the help you need. Turn to counseling, turn to, your loved ones, turn to, your faith to help you get through this. And at the end of the day, all I can say is, just surrender, because I truly believe that everything happens for a reason. And it sometimes takes a little bit longer for us to look back and be able to figure out what that reason is. So anyways, thank you for listening. I hope this has been helpful, and God bless. Take care.